So in this video, I'm going to show you how to build this addiction tracker, which is on my Habit Tracker Hub dashboard. And it's basically just a simple habit tracker to help you remove a specific bad habit from your life. So in this case, I'm just using alcohol as an example. And how this works is you have 3 months and 12 weeks, and then a checkbox for each day. So if you successfully resist your bad habit for the day, then you just check off this checkbox, and then your weekly progress will update. And then on the monthly view, you'll see your total monthly progress. And then the objective is to just beat the previous month's high score. And once you start a streak, to just not break it. Usually 3 months would be enough. 90 days is enough to break any sort of bad habit, unless it's something serious, in which case you can always just add more months and add more weeks until you have a month that is 100%. So yeah, it's a super simple system, but it's necessary. You need a system in place in order to not only add new healthy habits to your life, but also remove all the bad ones, because you can't just rely on willpower. Like we both know that doesn't work. So yeah, this is a super simple system to just help you remove your bad habit from your life. And yeah, I'm going to show you how to build it. But if you just want to grab it for free, then feel free to just check out the link in the description. There will also be a link to this habit tracker dashboard. So yeah, just make sure to check out the description. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's get started. So let's start off on a blank page and type in /table to add a new table view database. We're going to call this database addiction tracker, and then we're going to hide the database title as well as delete this tag property. Now the first thing we want to do is click on this drop down next to new and add a new template button called week with a space, and then also add an icon. Then what you want to do is just click on this drop down again and click on the template button menu and click on set as default, so that if we add a new database entry, it will automatically add in the week text as well as that icon. And then what you want to do is simply add in all 12 weeks. Once our 12 weeks are added, we want to add our first checkbox property, which will be for Monday. And then this we can just resize and click on the property and click on duplicate. Then just rename this to Tuesday, and then we just repeat this process for all 7 days of the week. Alright, so once our checkboxes are added, we want to add a date property, and then inside of each of these weeks, we want to add the date range of that week. So this will be week 1, and then week 2 will be the 18th till the 24th. And then once you've added in the date ranges of all 12 weeks, you want to then filter your database view according to the date property, where the start date is relative to today and is this week. So it will only show the active week that you're currently in. And then the last property we want to add for this database is going to be a formula, which is going to be for our progress bar. And then inside of the formula, all you want to do is just select your Monday checkbox, add a dot, so you can add a new function, and then add the to-number function with a plus. Then just shift enter and press tab, and then on a new line do the exact same, and just repeat this process for all 7 of your daily checkboxes. So basically what we're doing here is we're turning the checkbox value, which is true or false, into a number value, which will be 1 or 0. So if we click on done and we select our checkboxes, then you'll see the progress bar updating and is now showing the total of our checked checkboxes. Now in order to get the percentage, what we want to do is add all of this inside of brackets, and then at the end just divide everything with 7. And now if we click on done and edit this property and change the number format to a percentage, then it will now show the percentage of our total weekly progress. And now to get rid of these decimals, all you want to do is just add a round function to the beginning of this formula with 2 open brackets, and then at the end you want to close everything off with 1 closing bracket, multiply it with 100, and then the second closing bracket, and divide everything with 100. And now it should show the normal percentage without any decimals. And now the last thing we want to do is just edit this property and then select the progress bar or progress ring and also change the color. And there you go. Now you have a progress bar that will show the total percentage of your checkboxes for that week. Alright, so once we've added all the properties, we want to go into the database menu and just rename this to whatever you want, or you can just add a space to remove the name. And then let's also add a new icon and change this database to a list view. Now on this list view, we only want to show the checkboxes and the progress bar. So go into your database menu click on the Properties tab, and then click Show All, and then hide the date property, and just order everything according to the days of the week. So progress bar will be at the top, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. Alright, so once this is set up, you just want to duplicate this view and then change the icon, and then go into layout and select the gallery view. And then here inside of layout, you just want to change the card preview to none, change the card size to small, and then go into your properties and just show the exact same properties as on the first view. So we're going to show the progress bar and then all the checkboxes for each of the days, and then just order them accordingly. And that's pretty much it for the weekly database. Now all that's left is to add the monthly database and then link the two with each other. So for the second database, we're also going to add a new table view database, and we're going to call this monthly progress. And we're again going to hide this database title, delete this tag property, and then also add in a new template button. So this template button will be called month with a space, and then we're also going to add an icon. And then for this template button, we also want to set it as a default. And now what we want to do is just delete these database entries and then add in our 3 months. And then for our monthly progress database, we want to add a relation property and select our addiction tracker database, make it show up on the addiction tracker, click on add relation, and then also change the icon. Alright, so now that these two databases are connected, you want to click inside of month 1 and then select week 1, 2, 3, and 4. Month 2 will be for week 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then month 3 will be for week 9, 10, 11, and 12. Alright, so the last property we want to add is a formula property, which will be called monthly progress. Inside of this formula, we're going to use the new map function, and then select our addiction tracker relation, add a comma, use the current function, and then add a dot so we can use the progress bar of our addiction tracker. So if I click on done, it will now show the progress bar of all the related databases. So week 1 is 0.57. So let me just check this off and you'll see it update. And then obviously the other weeks don't have any checkboxes checked. So in order to turn this into a percentage, all you want to do is just add a sum function at the end. So now it will display the total, and then at the end you just want to divide everything with 4. So now it will show the total progress, but you still need to turn it into percentage by clicking on number format and selecting percentage. And then you also want to select a progress bar and change the color. So now if I check off the checkboxes for week 1, you'll see the monthly progress will update. And I can do the same for all the others as well. Let me just remove this filter. And then if I check all of these off, you'll see the monthly progress update for all of them. And now in order to get rid of the decimals, we're going to do the exact same as we did before. So just add a round function with 2 open brackets, and then multiply everything with 100, and then divide everything with 100. And that should get rid of all the decimals. Now the last thing we want to do for this database is to just give it a name, or just remove the name entirely, add an icon, and change the layout to gallery view, and then change the card preview to none, change the card size to small, and then inside of the properties we want to only show the monthly progress. So now that our databases are set up, we want to add all 3 of these views into one single database. So in order to do this, we're first going to turn all of these into pages, and then we're going to add an icon, and just move both of these down. Now what we want to do is click inside of our addiction tracker, go to the second view, right click, copy link to view, and then go back to the dashboard and then paste in the link as a linked view database. And then to add the other view, we want to click on plus, click on the addiction tracker, and then just select the second view. Now because this is a linked view database and not the original like these two at the bottom, we can click on the plus, and now we can select a different data source. So we can now select the monthly progress database and select this view. And yeah, there you go. All 3 views are added, and it's using 2 different databases, but it's all inside of the same database, just as different views. And now the last thing you want to do is just add a callout box and make sure the background color is set to default. And then you can just add in no, and then your addiction. So no alcohol or whatever it is. And then just highlight this, make it bold, underline it, change the text color, and then you can drag this database inside. And then you can also just change the icon to whatever you want. Let's do the other hand one. And there you go. Now you have a Diction Tracker with the first view for your current week, where you can check off the checkboxes for each day. The second view shows your total monthly progress. And in the third view, you can click inside of the weeks and add in the date for each of them. And as for these two databases at the bottom, all you want to do is just add a toggle and maybe call this like backend or something. And then you can just drag these inside and close the toggle. And I always just make this bold and turn the color to gray. And there you go. Now you can simply just drag this colored box around to create a new layout. You can resize it. You can click on the block menu in order to move it to a different page, or you can simply just drag it into your sidebar to the page that you want. Make sure to grab this habit tracker dashboard through the first link in the description, and also let me know in the comments what you think about this new style of content where I actually include my face on camera, as this is my first time doing so on my channel, so I'm genuinely curious to hear your opinion. But yeah, other than that, make sure to give this video a like. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.